Hey guys, down here working on my Wrangler right now. Well, I'm getting ready to take the tranny to town, go clean it off. Got it loaded up. We got some oven cleaners, so I'm gonna run to town. We're gonna clean this thing off, get her all. Want to make it look a little bit better, and then I gotta clean this up so I can weld the cover for the starter up. So we're gonna get to her. Let's head to town. I got it power washed off, and I got my first coat of oven cleaner on there, cleaning her up. Stuff works pretty good. If you're cleaning engines or trannies, it's about the best thing that works. So just don't get it on you. Like it's got lye on it, so it'll burn you if you get it. Well, if you don't get it cleaned off, anyways. I've got it on me, and it never had a problem as long as you get it cleaned off. But she's getting there. She's waiting on the stuff to sit. I usually let it sit 5 to 10 minutes, so it's about done setting. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her another wash. And we're back. Alright, so not as clean as I was wanting. It's got a lot of this baked on clay. I don't know, I couldn't get it to come off. It'll be fine. I got most of all the grease off of it. Other than here, there's a couple spots, but this was all caked in grease. So she's a lot better than she was, but yeah, now I just got to get that piece welded in there. I think that's gonna be about it. Let's see where I just barely get into it just to get that flex plate to clear, but it should be all right. But get this thing unloaded. All right, so I didn't really get to work on this thing much more last weekend. I had to work on my house because I had a water leak, so I had to run new water line. So I did that basically all weekend. So I'm back down here the next weekend. I'm just gonna take off from here. I got the tranny unloaded last weekend, but got the piece that I'm gonna have welded. Got the stencil for it cut out. Go around there, weld in. It'll be about a 1/2 inch. I was gonna cast it out of aluminum, but got to get them itches. But I was gonna cast it out of aluminum. I was gonna 3D print the blank, or I can't remember what it's called, but I was gonna 3D print basically that part and then cast it in aluminum with sand. But I think this is going to be a lot easier. I got a lot of aluminum 1/2 inch aluminum left over from this adapter plate when I made it. So I'm just gonna cut a piece out of it and weld her on. Alright, so I got the part cut out, and I got it notched, and I got everything cleaned up, getting ready. Got my spool gun hooked up, my pure argon. Been doing some practice. It is not very good, but this one right here is my last one. It seems like it's getting pretty good penetration now. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but I'm gonna try a welder. Hopefully I don't mess this thing up. So here we go. Yeah. Well, it doesn't look the best, but I got some pretty good penetration on her. Ought to work. So, my friend told me I ought to go into a little bit of detail on the swap, because I tried finding all the stuff to do this swap and I couldn't find anything on it. The only thing I could find to do LS to the NSG 370, that's what that tranny is. The only thing I could find was for the 4.0, and the older ones it'd be I think 04 to 06, when they had the 6 speeds behind the 4.0s. You could find an adapter plate from LS to 4.0 to fit that, but you couldn't find LS to 3.6 Pentastar. So, well, I started getting stuff, and I got this plate. I got the plate cut out. Well, got the plate cut out, and then when I went to go like check all my clearances, I realized that that flex plate drug in here just barely. Well, it wouldn't let it go in. It would drag enough to where it wouldn't let it go into the bell housing. And then on top of that, on the 3.6 Pentastar, the starter's on the driver's side, and on the LS, the starter's on the passenger side. So I had to. That's why I had to have that cut out, and then I got it blocked back in. So I made the adapter plate, and then I'll probably put some pictures in there of me kind of getting it lined up. I drilled the LS bolt pattern, bolted it to the back of the LS, and then I had a dial indicator on the flex plate on the LS, and I bought an automatic 3.6 Pentastar bell housing because they come off the tranny itself. This is all integrated. That tranny's all one piece. So I bought that bell housing so I could get my bolt pattern for the Pentastar. So I put that bell housing on this adapter plate and clamped it to it. Then took a drill and drilled through the pinhole on where the dowel pin on that 3.6 Pentastar is. Then I put the pins in, clamped it back on, and then I drilled I put marks where all my bolt holes are for that. So I put all the marks for the bolt holes, and I got time zerts and screwed them in from the back. That way it won't strip this aluminum out, so I don't have that problem. That was a lot of people was questioning me on how I was going to keep them from stripping out, and I came up with that idea. But that's it for the adapter. But then another thing is, since the 3.6 flywheel stuck out so far, I couldn't find an LS flywheel that came out far enough. So I made an adapter that goes in between the LS flex plate and the 3.6 Pentastar flywheel. And I re-drilled the Pentastar flywheel to the LS bolt pattern and sandwiched them in between. And I got these spacers, and there's a Loctited bolt where the torque converter for this flex plate would have gone to give it a little bit more rigidity. But I I think I said in the last video or the beginning of this, no, it was the last video. I think I said something about me getting this on, and I checked my concentricity and my I don't know what it's called, but the way the wobble is what I said, but I can't remember what it's called. But I checked it, and it was only 2 thou, then a thou and a half to 2 thou out, and it says anything within 8 thou you're fine. So, and I also had to make custom bolts for it too, because LS runs an 11 by 1.5, which is a really oddball bolt to begin with. So I found 12 millimeter bolts, and I drilled the flywheel to 12 millimeter. And I took those 12 millimeter bolts, turned them down to 11 millimeter on the end. Actually, I got some that I got started. I got an extra set that I started. So I cut them off, turned them down, and then our manual doesn't have metric. So what I did was I started the threads with this and the tailstock, so I knew it was square to it. And then on the 6 that are in the engine, I went ahead and finished all of them, but I just got these for spares. And I did a test. It's not in here. I did the test for the tensile strength. I found the tensile strength of these bolts under torque when you're torquing them, and I brought them to that, and then went over 10 foot-pounds over the tensile strength of the bolt, and they never budged. So I have full faith in them. So, but yeah, get this thing off here and cleaned up. I had to just got this on here to keep that square. Somebody drove by, but yeah, getting there. Want to get this thing cleaned up. I got basically the only thing I have left for this, and then it can go back on the motor, is I'm putting it's been that I routed this out. I don't know if any shavings got in here, so I'm going to take this throwout bearing or sleeve out and put a new input shaft seal in, because I want to make sure I get all the shavings cleaned out of this. So, but that's about it for now. I'm gonna go and work on this a little bit longer, see what else I get. I guess I can't really do much more other than clean up. I guess I'll do that. Spacer that I made. Spacer adapter. This is the lineup puck. These are the little spacers that I made. This is it together. So that was just a bunch of clips, pictures of stuff that I've made for all of this conversion. Showed some of the adapter and how I clamped the automatic bell housing to the back of there to get my bolt pattern, and the clamps I made, and think I had the reluctor wheel for my crank position sensor. So I found a picture of the reluctor wheel off a 3.6 Pentastar, counted all the teeth, and there was 3 teeth that were all one tooth. You'll see it. There's just, I welded in between 3 teeth, welded them all together. So for a timing mark for the stock 3.6 ECU to read, because I'm going to be running the stock gauges and the stock ECU so I can have my tack and the coolant temp sensor. So I still got to get everything, like the mounts for them. But I got the reluctor wheels made, and then I'm going to show it here in a second. But I took, well, that's right here. So I took the yoke off the back of the transfer case and turned down a step on it, and then bored out this sprocket to where it fit on there. And I TIG welded it in so I can have cruise control. This will be for the LS ECU, my vehicle speed sensor for it. So I will have cruise control. I'll just have to hook out all the wires up for the brakes. So that's going to be cool. Gonna have cruise control. And that's about it. I got that. I got to finish that. I got to put the seal guard on it, press it back on, and I got the input shaft seal. So I'm going to go ahead and get them put together. We're going to go from there. So I got the yoke all cleaned up and I got her painted. So I probably won't get it installed until tomorrow. So it's tomorrow. Alright, I'm back. So I got her all together. Got my input shaft or output yoke on. I got my input shaft seal in, and got my throw up bearing and fork in. So should be able to put this thing back on the motor now. But here's another. Here, I'll get a light. See my reluctor wheel, and then I'll have a the speed sensor will be on. I'll probably put it in on this side somewhere where nothing can get to it and rip it off. But I think that's gonna work. But yeah, that's about it for this time. But hopefully next time I'll get her bolted in. So thanks for watching.